biggest conundrums that all tilers run into eventually is finding out a leak. So, marble tile is not a good recommendation. Usually there's staining and stuff going on just up under the tile, and then you got dark spots going on everywhere. Hasn't happened here. A little bit of grout's come out. Is that caulking? No, that's not caulking. That's grout. So yeah, a little bit of grout came out. Looks like they did some caulking though. Kind of half-assed. But as a rule, encapsulated shower pan liner and all that stuff is not going to be the problem. Usually it's here. Usually it's around the drain area or a number 1 curb. Second one will be a knee wall, and then the third one will be a bench. And sometimes it's a combination between a curb and a knee wall. There is no knee wall here and there's no bench. So more than likely the curb, let me see, shower head. There's no other fixture in here. Well, body spray. It would be hard to believe it came through the curb though. But the spatial distance from the edge of the house is about 2 feet, maybe 2.5 feet from the edge. There's a cracked tile there. It's hard to tell. Let's go downstairs and have a look.
So I wanted to come on here and do an audio, mainly because there's a lot of things to kind of disseminate through this video, and it was kind of short what I realized when I got home and uploaded it. There wasn't enough time to go over some of these issues. So what I found, the homeowner actually found first, that kind of has come through the plywood, the CDX as it were, under the floor of the shower. And you can see the dampness. There's a shower drain right there. There's no water staining going on around the shower drain, which is odd. So we kind of assumed that maybe water was getting up under the shower pan liner, if there was a liner at all, which I'm assuming there is. Somehow or another made its way up under there. That efflorescence, the efflorescence is basically a mineral deposit along with salt from mortar, a mortar material. It could be grout, it could be thin set, it could be a lot of different mortar material, even mortar itself. And that's indicative of something that is soaked through that CDX ply. And I'm not really sure, even at this point, 100% that it's coming from the shower, because right there on that corner on that left side there, where my flashlight is pointing at, that's the exterior wall. Part of the shower is this area where I'm pointing my flashlight on now, but on that left corner is exterior wall. So I almost thought that it was coming from outside in. You know, so the customer, well, he's not my customer yet. The homeowner is kind of showing the realm of the shower, you know, because it's a large shower. It's probably a good part of 6-7 foot by about 5 foot. So it's a bit of a conundrum, because I want to say that it came from the curb. We're looking down at the other end. There's another shower down there. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. This is a repeat. This is kind of on a loop, so bear with me. There's another shower down at the other end, and he's suggesting that maybe if it's happening there, it's happening in the other shower. But as we get on these little mechanic trolley things, because there's only enough room to slide around up under there, and he was nice enough, well, he had 2 of them, the creepers. So we just got on those and creeped over to the other side. But basically I was telling him, if there's not a problem, let's not fix it. Because he wants to fix this shower pan floor to get rid of all this stuff, and when I dig into all that material, most likely I'll cut out all that ply stuff anyway. I don't want to, when that happens, I'm going to get into that in a minute. When that happens, scraping off all that efflorescence and using an acid wash will get rid of it, but there's no guarantee that it won't come back. So what I would rather do, just like mold or anything else, I would rather just kind of get rid of the material that it's attached to. And that's why going forward, taking out that shower pan, the entirety of that shower pan, 1 tile up, and all the material below it will let me have access to this floor. And then I'll just cut out that area that's in question right there, because it is in question. It's questionable in a lot of ways. It could be from the shower and it could be from outside. And that's the problem I'm having, because I don't want to do work for no reason, right? I don't want this to be remediated, thinking that we've solved the problem, and then in a couple months or a year, he calls me back and say, "Hey, it's happening again." Because look around the drain, there's just no water leakage. The water leakage is actually going toward the drain, not away from it, which is a bit odd. On that right side over there, about where that beam is where the curb is at. But if you see upstairs, there's no water that far from the curb. Sorry, that close to the curb. The only thing water possibly could have gotten on the curb would be the wand, because if you notice, there's like this body spray wand, detachable, and that is her shower, and it's a possibility that she's shaving her legs, putting her leg up on the curb, in which case, yeah, she would be washing off her legs and all that stuff with that wand, and therefore water could get into that curb material, especially where that cracked tile was, and therefore that's the brunt of the problem. That's my best logic on it. I just have a hard time believing that it would be coming from outside, even though it's very close. As I mentioned, upstairs, it's about 2.5, maybe 3 foot away best from the outside wall. So if it is coming from the outside wall, it would be pretty pervasive. It wouldn't just be local. It wouldn't be in just this one area. This is probably about a 2.5, 3 foot long, and then wide about 18, 20 inches. So yeah, not really sure. Not really sure where the problem is. And as I mentioned also when I was upstairs, um, the conundrum is that we don't want to do more work than necessary to take care of the problem, but unfortunately, we can't tell what the problem is until we tear things out. So I have a little saying, I have to kill the patient to find the disease, and I hate doing that, but there's almost never a remediation from above. Like, you can't go above on a shower. People call me all the time, "I have a leaky shower. Can you come look at it and do a fix?" No, there is no fix for that. Because the build process from the very last part, which is a waterproofer, which I'm convinced they didn't waterproof anything, all the way to the very beginning where they started, messing with studs and putting in the plywood and all that other stuff. All of that matters, and consecutively how it's done. So one begets the next, which begets the next. So if you miss one step, even the drain around where the shower pan liner is cut and the drain is installed, right? That could be the Achilles heel. That could be the problem. But we almost never ever am able. Well, I'm not anyway. I'm able to find that until things are torn out, which begets killing the patient. I got to tear everything out. Then, 8 times out of 10, I can kind of tell. Well, maybe 6 times out of 10, I can tell where the problem emanated from. Maybe more. But it's all guess until you take things out. So that's unfortunate. So I will be doing a follow-up video. I didn't want to try and get into some type of guessing game without tearing everything out, but I wanted to show anytime you have this, and it wouldn't necessarily be down below. In fact, usually that white substance that you're seeing on the grout, you're seeing on the tile, you're seeing on the perimeter of the shower. And that's because you have a preponderance of moisture that's built in, that can't get out, that can't escape, that can't evaporate. And that's when that stuff starts growing. And if you notice, look at that, it's like crystals. It just starts spreading out, kind of throwing me for a loop. But if I get this job and I start tearing things out, then I will definitely, as I do on most of my videos on my channel, I will show the process as I tear things out and my best guess. Hopefully it'll just stare me in the face when I take the curb apart, because that's what I still kind of feel like it's coming from there. But I will show the process, and I will show what the problem, how it emanated, where it started from. So that way, hopefully, it solves a problem for other people. But also, some of those mistakes that I show on my channel are heads up to homeowners. Even if you're not doing your shower yourself, somebody else is doing it, and they notice one of the mistakes being made that I show on my channel, that they can then stop the job and kind of realign the contractor, as it were. Some contractors don't know what they're doing. realign his way of thinking and make sure it gets done right. Because I really, really hate doing these shower pan tear outs, and I don't do the whole shower because there's no reason to unless you just want to make some extra money and spend extra time and waste material. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say about this. Stay tuned to my channel. As I said, more than likely I will be doing this job going into next week or the week after, and I will definitely be posting that on my channel. So be sure to subscribe for follow-up or even other videos that I post on my channel. Hey, if you enjoyed that video and you learned something, consider being a Patreon member. $5, $10, $15 a month would help me greatly produce more videos. I make nothing from YouTube at all. If you're going to call me for advice, please donate $50 for 30 minutes. My link to my PayPal and my Patreon account is down below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get immediate notifications as soon as I post videos. And thank you very much for your support.